Hi guys, how y'all doing? It's Rik Marston, Synth God XXX here. I'm going to be doing a real quick, easy demo of how to multi-sample any synth, but right now I'm using the Behringer Model D as the example. And I'm using a Korg Triton Extreme for the sampler so I can multi-sample and play with polyphony the sounds of the Behringer Model D and other mono synths that you can sample, or any synth. So what I'm going to be doing here is pretty quick. I'm going to show you basically how to make your multi-sample and to play it, and then create a program with it, add effects, and just lose your mind. So here we go. First of all, get your connections all set up. I've got the Model D running through the audio in, and I'm going to be doing basically a mono sample to make it quick and easy just to get this going. What I'll do is I'll sample 5 samples from the Model D, and then I will put them into specific slots in the multi-sample. We'll go ahead and convert the multi-sample over into a program. Then we'll go ahead and turn on and then add the insert effects and start really exploring the samples that we've made from the Model D on the Triton. So let's go into our first thing. Over to the right-hand side of your screen, you have the menu and the exit button. Go ahead and hit the, first of all, rewind and go. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our global. So we're going to hit the global button. And of course, on that screen, you're going to see the input sampling. Go ahead and hit that button. What we're going to go ahead and do is basically on this, because I want it to be a solo, or basically I'm going to turn on the pan on left to center 64. I'll do that also just for fun on the other one, but it's not required because we're doing a left-hand mono sample. I'm going to want to go ahead and turn on my bus to left and right. I'll do that just because I like doing it on the other one to keep everything double. Okay, so again, center 64 to be able to get this as a solid mono sample. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go out of the sampling from global, sorry. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go from global into the sampling button. So hit sampling, and we're going to do the audio input preferences too. So audio input setup, it's called input setup. Do the same thing, center on left. I just do it because I'm running actually 2 in, but it's not necessary. Okay, and of course on your bus, do left, right again. All right, so that's pretty much set. I'm going to go over to, you can't see here, but I'm going to go to the right and hit the record button just to arm the sampler, and then I'm going to hit the key on my JX305 to trigger the sound from the Behringer D just to make sure the sound levels are good. So let's take a look. Yeah. All right, so those sound levels are good. So that's definitely cool. So I know that the Model D is at a real good level. I'll just turn it down just a little bit to give me a little bit more room. Okay, now here we go. I've got the setup ready to go. We've got the right levels for our left and right. Since I'm doing a mono left sample, it's no big deal. All right, I went back to the main recording page. We are now seeing our multi-sample setup. Of course, it shows the multiple octaves that will go across the keyboard. We'll be able to assign the actual samples in the key range of C2, C3, C4, C5, and C6. And we'll be able to spread out those samples just a little bit over the normal range, which is C to B. What I do is I go C to A2 and let the multi-sample from the second one bleed over into the A's, or like A sharp, and then into, again, to another A sharp. So it's easier to do it that way, and the multi-sample sounds so much better instead of just relying on the main sample starting at C2 or C3. Let it drift a little bit to the left a little bit and a little bit to the right. It just makes the multi-sample come alive better. Okay, so what I'm going to quickly do here, while I record, we'll be able to go ahead and start sampling. Now what I'm going to do is, since that's C2, it'll be our lowest octave, let's go ahead and do this. Now, I'm going to turn off and just go ahead and change that, like I was just saying, to A sharp. So watch this. I'm going to hit record on my sampler and hit start, and then hit my first key to sample. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I love doing 15-second samples. They're long enough to hold, and it's worth it. All right, so we've got that sample. It's called New Sample 001. We can rename it, we can edit it, we can trim it. But guess what? I'm going to make this even quicker. We're just going to keep it in the same spot here, and we're going to record all the samples at one time, and then we'll go back and add and split and tourniquet the samples and place them in the actual multi-sample range. So let's just keep continuing on sampling. Okay, hit record and play, and hit the next key. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I'm going to do that for the other 5. So here we go. It's pretty simple. Hit record, hit play, hit start stop, and hit the next range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, and hit stop. Again, just knock out all those samples at one time and then place them and edit them after. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, hit stop. Do the next range. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I'll do the next one just to get it over with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, just for fun. All right, so there's your samples. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that should be 6 octaves that will go across. All right, now here's the fun part. We've got 5 samples. Let's go ahead and drop it down and take a look. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, my bad. We've got our 6 samples, and they're all needing to be edited. They all need to be trimmed, and they all need to be named, and they all need to be placed in the multi-sample. So this is cool. Exit. So let's do this. Go to your menu button, which is to the right of your screen. Go ahead and hit and sample edit. All right, here's your samples. But see, it's on your last sample, so we want to start from our first sample that we went ahead and sampled out from the Behringer D. All right, so here it is. It says new sample. We're going to go ahead and tourniquet. Now you see the little edit range edit. You want to isolate that. Another thing is look to the right. You've got this zoom, so you can zoom it up. We can zoom it in and see how close we can get to the sample and see how much we can trim. See how much room we can trim off of that to make this a super tight sample. So go ahead and just roll. There we go, super tight. You want it right on edge, right? Hit the top. We're going to go ahead and cut. Okay, we don't want to overwrite, so we don't want to save it to a separate one. We want to overwrite. So just go ahead and hit this, and the Triton will totally remember it every time we want to do a cut. Okay, so now it's trimming off that junk, right? Now I'm going to do that for all the rest of the samples. Just trim off the extra beginnings, and then all we have to do is name them, and all we have to do is put them up. So here we go. So it takes a while to trim off the little bit, so give it a few seconds for each one, or more than a few seconds. Awesome. So there's the first sample trimmed. Let's go to the second sample. Same story. All right, tourniquet that sucker too. Make sure that's already on end, because if not, you'll be changing index, and you don't want to change that around. All right, so yeah, just do that for each one of your samples. Cut them. Make sure you overwrite so it overwrites on the original sample. One more sample to trim. Okay, look at here's the last one. You can remember start doing your edit and remember to do your edit end and get that highlighted, and then start scrolling over to the very front of your sample. Go ahead and hit your drop down, hit cut. Overwrite is already selected because you did it last time, and that's going to take a little bit. Okay, let's see. I'm going to hit one more. Is there one more sample? Nope, that's it. All right, cool. Now I'm just going to test these samples out real quick to make sure that they're cool. And I want to make sure I'm recorded. So my samples right now are only assigned to C2 at the very bottom, but I do want to hear what they all sound like. So make sure that they all that needs to be edited more. There we go. There's a big gap there. So I want to make this super tight. So yeah, I got that big gap out of there. It's funny because I thought I trimmed it all. But remember, you can keep zooming and zooming until you get right on the edge of your sample and to make it sound really, really good. So, all right, so there's that one. All right, that's cool. That looks nice. Make sure, oh yeah, look at that. There's still so much more of a gap that I still need to take off and trim off. All right, So remember, that's how you tighten up these samples. You want to make sure they go right to the edge where your sample starts. When you hit that key, that sound goes bow, bow. So let's keep checking to see if there's any more. Look at, there's gaps. Each one of these needs to be super tight. Normally I use a stylus. There we go. All right, so since it's very simple to trim these little edges out, go to the next sample, make sure I've got these all. See, yeah, I thought I trimmed them all good, but hey, they all need to be trimmed just a wee bit more. Don't want to be too much on the edge. Always give it a little bit of room. Okay. Next sample. Okay, that's good. So they all look like they're good. Let's try the first one again. Yeah, the first one and the second one. So the first one needs to have trim it just a little bit more right on that edge. So when we play the sample, it'll be like bam, ba bam. All right, let's hear the audio one more time from all the individual samples and make sure they are super green. Now, executing. Come on, Del. I personally love Korg workstations for using samples and doing sample collections. They're just, to me, the best and the most reliable. I love Roland gear. I love Yamaha tech. I think it's all wonderful stuff. But when it comes down to it, if I'm doing a sample project, there's a pretty darn good chance that it's going to be done on a Triton, M3, a Kronos. God, if I can get an Oasis, that would be super cool. But, you know, go for a Kronos if you're going to get an Oasis. All right, here we go. Now that should be super duper tight. Super duper tight, right? There we go. Okay. Go back to my samples, make sure that's selected. Here are the samples again. That's the first sample. Second sample. Third sample. Fourth sample. Fifth. All right, that's awesome. Now we will assign each one to a specific spot in our multi-sample. All right, hit exit. You're already in your recording mode. There's your key selection, so you know your very first sample is going to go from C2 to A2. That's where I selected it, because normally it goes C2 to B to B2, but ain't going to do that. So we know that first sample is there. Right, so that's the low octave. We're going to go create. All right, we're going to assign the next sample. Okay, now typically I would rename them. Right now I'm just going to quickly go ahead and show you how to assign these to the right key ranges for you. Original key is not B2, you want it to C3, and there, it already remembered A sharp is going to be the end of the multi. Good deal. So do another create, make sure your original key is going to be on C, and of course it's already allocated A, so you're done. Let's go ahead and get that sample assigned. There you go. So let's hear the three octaves. Very cool. Sounding pretty good so far. So we're going to go create again. Make sure your B is set to C. And then, of course, assign the next sample down the line. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Create. We're going to go and add the next one here. Again, C is where our originals. 1, 2, 3. Nope. All right, next one. Again. Alrighty then. All right, technically I could go ahead and do all of these and just change them all just to be safe. I'm going to quickly go ahead and do the renaming. So go to your drop down, I believe you do it. Yes, rename sample. Okay, remember it's got the template new sample. Hit T to get the title. Okay, clear. Okay, shift to make it caps. C, shift 2, so we know which octave the sample is in. Okay. All right, the next sample, we're going to rename that one too, and we'll do it for the rest. Title, clear, shift, and I normally use a stylus. C3 for the sample names. Okay, you following me? Let's go do the rest of these real quick. 4, rename sample, title, clear, shift, C, shift 5, because remember numbers are on an extra shift. 4, rename sample, shift, C, is it 6 now? Where are we at? C6, I think? I don't know. I might be wrong. 6, there we go. And the last one will be C7. So, yes, you got the gist. If you own a Korg something, you probably have all the same features and the same way to do multi-sampling. All right, we have the names. We now know. All right, that's awesome. We got it. Let's rename that. Rename multi. So we're going to change the name of this. Let's see. All right. Rename MS. There you go. Your multi-sample will be renamed. Clear. Shift. I'm just going to call it Model D. Okay, so that's the name of our multi-sample. And now I'm going to convert MS to program. My multi-sample will now go into A bank. And yes, I'm sure. So the very first sound will be this multi-sound. I've converted this multi-sample to a program. Let's go into our program and start adding effects. Program button. There we are. It's the first one because that's where I allocated it. And here's our sound, dry. All right. I'm going to add some release. Okay, now let's do some insert effects. Menu button, we're going to go to insert effect. Make sure you turn this on to, see it says LR, we're going to turn on a multi-effects one, it says no effects. So we're going to go turn on the insert effects right here and then turn on to and check this because now we've connected the first insert effects to run through the second insert effects. So the first one could be anything, but the second one I'm going to put as a delay just for fun. Okay, let's see, a multi-tap delay, just for fun. Okay, and the first one we'll do what, reverb kind of a sound. So yeah, reverb's Hall is good enough. So that delay is a little too much. I'm going to bring it down to like 11. And the same thing with the first one. I want to do it to 11 because I don't want it too drippy, you know? So a little too much on the, there we go, on the delay. We want a little bit. Very cool. Now we could just screw around with the different insert effects and make some really different sounds, you know? And you can do up to 5 insert effects at one time. Think about all the crazy stuff. And you can hear I'm affecting the resonance and the cutoff. Certainly not the same filters you would get on the actual Model D, but man, I love it. Alright guys, oh yeah, and don't forget, go into your menu if you have to, and you can always do any other things with your master effects, basic stuff that you like in your pitches. You make it mono, you want to make it poly, it's up to you. One of the coolest things is make sure that you write the program and you save it, and when you're done with everything, don't forget to go to your media and do a drop down. We're going to do a save all, hit select, do save all. Don't mess around. Okay, clear, shift, and then Model D. Okay, save all. Okay, just save it. Just save it all as is with all your inputs, outputs, all your globals, everything. Just, save it all. And when you're done, you just got to turn on the thing. You can make different samples, different collections and banks of your favorite samples on these synths. This is it. Very bitchin'. Back to your program, and you're back. And that's all yours, dude. You made the samples, you made the sounds, you make them custom yourself. Baby, multi-sample that Model D. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Hopefully this helped. I'll talk to you all soon. Peace. Respect. Bye.